J.W. Hamilton, and welcome to open us up with a statement.
Thanks, KB. Last time we were all together in here, we had the whole team in here, and they announced they were coming back. It was right before the Final Four. It seemed kind of crazy, but then if you look and saw what happened across the country, we're one of 10 teams that's got 70% or more of their points, assists, rebounds, blocks, steals coming back. And I'm proud of this group. They love each other. They love Eastern Kentucky. They love being part of this community, and they want to be different. And that's why they came back. And they play with so much passion. And when you watched them last year, they were easy to fall in love with. And what happened was we led the conference in attendance for the first time in school history. That's the impact they had. We've been playing basketball here for a really, really long time. And last year was the first time in school history we led the league in attendance. And at the end of the year, it was standing room only. There's a lot of energy and excitement for these guys. I'm proud of them, how they approach every day, though. They haven't got caught up in any of the preseason polls. That doesn't mean anything to them. They're focused on the process of becoming a championship-level team. And there's things that we got to improve on to become that team, and these guys know that. So it's been a really good offseason. We're excited to get the season going.
Coach, I got a question for you. We kind of saw it with North Carolina last year or 2 years ago when they went to the championship. All the guys came back. Everyone was, thinking they would run the table and things like that. Ended up not even making the tournament. So how do you guys kind of handle these expectations and kind of make sure that this season is even better than last?
When they start all the preseason rankings and all that started coming out, I would literally just walk in the locker room and rip it up. It doesn't matter. They didn't come back and stay together to have a letdown in their approach of becoming a great basketball team. We're not a great basketball team yet. We're close, but we're not there yet, and they understand that.
Because there is so much returning, do you expect maybe a little bit more? Because they are mature, they know the system, they know what to expect, compared to being a freshman, sophomore, where they're still trying to find their way.
Yeah, and I told this to a group of people last night. Our expectations have always been high. In my mind, my preseason rankings, I've always had us number one. Nobody else just thought that. But my expectations for these guys is very high. And, we talk about being a player-led program, which for us means each guy's got to hold himself to a high standard and be able to hold himself accountable. And that's what these kids do, and they do a really good job of it.
Of all the guys that came back, is there one that you've been just insanely impressed with that has really upped his game to maybe earn some more PT this year?
Listen, I could talk about all of them. I think the CBI, what it did for Cozy, is amazing. What it did for him and his career is absolutely amazing. He had a phenomenal year besides the CBI. He's fourth in the country in block shots, and he wasn't even Defensive Player of the Year in the league. All right, but that's another thing. I'm just throwing that in there. All right, but what he did in the CBI has carried over to what he's doing right now. He's playing with so much confidence. Like we're running plays for him, and he's finishing with his right hand now. He's making free throws. So I'm really excited for Cozy. And I think Leland Walker's taken a big step forward. He really had. And Leland had a really good year. He averaged double figures as a freshman. That's hard to do. But he's taken a big jump. He's really improved his body. And you'll see that with how he moves consistently.
The guard play you had at the end of the year, Tayshawn, Leland, everybody, and Bucktree comes in and hits big shots. What's your rotation? How many would you like to go comfortably, 8, 9, 10, whatever?
The more the better. Tayshawn, he broke an EKU record. Most games started as a freshman, 37. And, and I told you guys last year I was going to throw those guys into the fire, and I thought they did a phenomenal job, all of them. We call them Tayshawn T-Dot. T-Dot, Leland, and we call Turner T-Baby. I don't know where the heck we got that name from, but we called him T-Baby. I thought they all matured as the season went along. And I told Turner the other day, I said, Turner, you might be the best shooter I've ever seen. And I said, there's no way that your percentages will ever be as low as they were last year. I mean, when we had a magical week right at the beginning of conference play, we beat Liberty, Florida Gulf Coast, and Stetson. what Turner Buttrey did in that 3-game stretch was phenomenal. I mean, it was phenomenal. But that's what we see in practice. And Doug and Stotts are always there at practice. The kid, I mean, as soon as he walks in the gym, he's in range. It's amazing how well that kid can shoot the basketball.
You referenced the CBI run a second ago. Obviously, it's done great things for Cozy, but just for the team in general, how have you seen that level of success transition over into the summer, maybe even into recruiting and into what this team could be this year?
It did so much for us. You know, we talked about it at the beginning of last year. I said my goal for the team, I didn't talk about a championship. I said my goal was for if we lose our last game, that everybody's so invested that everybody's in tears. And what you want is you never want a team that has any regrets at the end. And what we had is we had a group when it was all over. Those guys got to watch Cooper Robb take his jersey off for the last time, and Cooper had nothing left. And it was inspiring. And these guys, you know, they felt the passion that Cooper had, you know, for the program and for this university. And I thought the guys, when they decided to come back, I think a lot of the impact was what happened in the CBI. You know, that tournament was really, really good for us. It was really good for us. I mean, the way we played, you know, I did a great job coaching. I told the guys, I said, listen, let's get down 12 to Cleveland State, and then let's come all the way back and let's win in overtime. So then we played the second round game. I said, look, we got the #1 seed, Indiana State. They're a really good team out of the Missouri Valley. I said, let's get down like 17, you know. And I said, you know, let's come all the way back and win the game in overtime. So then we did that. And then all of a sudden they have watch parties all over from Georgetown to Richmond. Like everybody's tuned in to watch us because we keep having these miracle comebacks. So then we played Southern Utah, and we were on ESPN. Joe Lenardi's calling the game. I said, guys, at the beginning, you know, we got down 13. I said, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want to do. I said, we'll tie it up, but this game, let's go to double overtime. You know, we were a standalone game. There was nobody else on to watch. So then we went in double overtime, and we scored 108 points. So then everybody was like, you know what? Now I know what the most exciting 40 minutes in sports is. I said, I've been trying to tell you guys. You just got to watch us. So the CBI was pretty cool, and the weather was good.
Sorry, you mentioned Cooper Robb. Do you have a guy on this year's roster who can be that defensive guy? He was a pest, but he did it so nonchalantly. He didn't look like he was doing so much, but then you'd see, you know, 5 steals, deflection, turnover that he would call on.
It was cool. You know, when you lose your last game, it's hard as a coach, because especially when you got a team like we got, because everybody's in tears and it's emotional, and I'm upset. I thought we should have won the game, and you know, I'm trying to say something really nice, and I got to go talk to Stotts on the radio, so I'm trying to get myself pumped up. And so I say my quick word, and then I'm leaving the locker room to go out with Stottsy, and Cooper gets up, and he gives his speech. And he's challenging the guys like, look, who's going to be me next year? Somebody's got to be me. Somebody's got to take on that perimeter defense that I did and that toughness that I brought every day. And it's been a collection of guys, you know, and I've been really impressed with Colin Cooper, our transfer from Central Arkansas. You know, he's a double-figure scorer in this league. He's a grad transfer. He's an older kid. He's tough. He can make shots. So I've been really, really impressed with him and proud of what he's doing and how he's blended in with our team. And, you know, you look at us defensively last year, we're second in our league in efficiency. Cozart, he changed us. He really did. He cleans up a lot of mistakes that we make on the perimeter. And so he's got to continue to do that. And then, you know, it's got to be a collection of guys.
Coach, you talked about one of those newcomers. Obviously, we all know who will probably start first game. So
How do you know?
That's true. Things get changed, but with all these guys returning, you know so many players. How those newcomers kind of handled maybe not having maybe a long way to go to maybe get playing time?
Yeah, college basketball and college athletics has changed so much overnight. You know, it's rare when, like, you look at a team and, like, everybody's back. And I give Colin, I give Pierce Thomas, Robbie Todd, Jax Allen a lot of credit. They've blended into the locker room. They understand how we do things at Eastern. And we play really hard, and we compete like crazy. And we go. We're nonstop. And they've just fit right into what we're doing here.
I haven't mentioned Big Mike yet. How's his off-season?
I say the same thing. He's had a great offseason. He's 16 made threes away from being the all-time leader in threes at Eastern Kentucky. What a career he's had. You know, he's going to be top 5 in scoring, top 5 in rebounding, the all-time leader in threes. We had a function last night, so I give a speech, I give a presentation. Then I have Michael come up, and Michael, you know, and I told him on the bus on the ride over there, I said, Michael, I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to let you introduce all the guys. He introduced all the guys, talked about where they're from, gave a funny story about each one. The kid's amazing. It's not basketball. It's everything else he's done for this program and for the university. I mean, he is the ultimate ambassador of Eastern Kentucky. And he's special. I don't know what I'm going to do without him. So I'm just going to coach him like crazy this year, and we're going to have fun. And that'll be one of the hardest senior nights, probably the hardest senior nights I ever have to do.
Just for yourself, you've been here a few years now. You sure yourself up with a new contract in the off season. Just where do you feel the state of the program is right now, and this kind of trajectory and this upward swing that you guys are on at the moment?
Well, the state of the program is really strong. The things we're doing at Eastern Kentucky are unbelievable. You look at, you know, a $51 million renovation that's happening into our arena. You look at record enrollment for the university. You look at the leadership. You look at the fact that all our guys came back. They came back for a reason. It's not because of me. It's because the passion and energy that's around the program. You know, everybody wants to play in front of a sellout arena. That's the dream. That's what you wake up when you're a kid, that you like imagine playing in front of a sellout. That's what we had. Like, you're not leaving this. You know, these kids, we go around the country and we play games everywhere. You know, what we got in that arena, the passion our fans got, is special. So I think the state of the program is really strong.
Coach, you mentioned how getting these guys to come back again in this world now of NIL and transfer portal, how special is that those guys, that some of them didn't leave? I'm sure they had the opportunity to do so.
Oh, a bunch of them did. And, you know, every coach you talk about, we're going to be a family. You know, 1, 2, 3, family on 3. You know, we all do that. I've been doing this is year 19 for me. Not every team is like that. You know, these guys really genuinely love each other. They didn't want to break up. They wanted to stay together and keep playing basketball. And they're such a competitive group, and with all the expectations, that's why it just really hasn't phased our group, because they're so competitive. Our year didn't end like we wanted it to, and it didn't end like they wanted it to. And they didn't want to, you know, they didn't want to be in the CBI. That wasn't their dream. They want to play in the NCAA tournament. And they knew their best path was to stay together. That was the best path to get to the NCAA tournament. So that's why they did it. It's pretty cool. I admire those kids for doing that.
We saw what it meant to have Western come in here last year. Now you go to return the favorite. What does that game mean to this program and the university?
I think it's great for both programs, and when we're going to continue to play. You know, we want to play Northern. We obviously play Bellarmine. We want to play Moorhead. We want to play Murray. We want to play all the teams in our state. I think that's really, really important. So hopefully that continues. We play Northern this year. We play Western, and we're hoping to start series back up.
Following up on Michael's question, obviously you guys play the in-state opponents, but you also play some good non-conference games, Alabama, Purdue, at UNC Greensboro, and a whole lot of others. Did y'all kind of build a schedule like that to challenge yourself early and get ready for another run in March?
Yeah, you want to play a challenging non-conference schedule, and plus, if I don't, Stotts is going to kill me, and I'll have to answer so many questions about the non-conference schedule. So I said, look, what we're going to do, we're going to play the hardest schedule we can possibly play. That way Stotts can't say anything to me about scheduling this year. So this will be the first year that Stotts doesn't get to say anything about the schedule. So, I mean, it's a tough schedule. I mean, we're playing anybody and everybody.
What is that balance like, though, if you play all of these, that tough schedule early on, and say you lose those games, and how you don't just naturally become like darn, like hard to pick yourself back up? Like, how do you find that balance of not getting to that, but also in just thriving in those moments and using that experience?
It's tough. You know, one of the things that we got to do better, and we've challenged this team, is we got to be better on the road. We were magical at home last year. We had the longest home winning streak since 90, right, KB? But we got to take that magic on the road. And so, you know, we have a lot of challenging road games that I think that are going to help us get ready for our league. But, you know, it's a great question. It's tough because these are young people. And there's social media, there's people talking, They're going to say stuff, but this is such a together group and such a competitive group. They know what the end goal is, and we just got to stay focused on the process.
You mentioned that end goal, you know, kind of the genesis of the team staying together, wanting to make an NCAA tournament, wanting to leave a legacy here. So how much are you able to, if you ever have to, I guess, address that with them? Is that something that you talk about openly? Is it something that you mentioned ripping up the preseason expectations earlier? Just how do you handle that when it's like such a forefront issue?
You know what, we work really hard in everything that we do. How we lift, how we do our individuals, how we attack our study hall. Everything we do is there's a commitment of excellence, and you got to give the kids credit. Like we don't have many distractions. Like I don't remember even the last time I talked to our academic advisor. I guess all our guys just do a good job because they want to play. They want to be successful. And it makes it fun. And, you know, there's only been one practice where I've really had to, you know, juice them up, you know, which is a good sign for a basketball team.
I've got these four gentlemen for you, and they're ready for your question.
For any of the guys, obviously a lot of returners coming back, a few new faces, but everyone expects you guys to do exactly what you did last year, maybe even better. So how do you guys kind of handle that pressure from, you know, media like us and some other people who write and talk about you guys?
We're big on trying to block out the noise as best we can. Obviously, we appreciate the expectation and the standard that we're held to. It shows great respect. It shows it's a testament to what we've been able to accomplish here, and then bringing back what we brought back, it just shows that we have the ability to do something special, and I guess hearing it can help us understand it greater. But at the same time, like I said at the beginning, we want to block out the noise as best we can, so we use that to motivate us and to help us understand the level of work we have to put in every day.
To keep with you, Mike, what was maybe the main reason why you decided to come back, and kind of just as a whole, what were those conversations like in the offseason?
It just made the most sense. For me, I love it here. This is my home. Coach has been great in developing me. He's given me plenty of opportunity, more opportunity than probably I'd get anywhere else, obviously. But yeah, coming back was big, and I want to bring a championship to this place. It was my dream coming in. It was my goal coming in, and it's obviously a very lofty goal. But I think we have the roster to do it, the team to do it. I thought we had the team to do it last year, which fell a little bit short. So coming back and with a collection of these guys, you know, I love these guys. They obviously the main reason I came back, just because, you know, I love playing with these guys, my brothers. So that's why I came back.
Tayshawn, last year the guard play really exploded for you guys down the stretch and throughout the season, but certainly when you get on that national level, to have so much experience coming back, what's that do for you this time around compared to a year ago?
I think it's more like it'd be better for us, like, since we vets now, it'd be easier for us to get in the flow of the game. I mean, we won't be as nervous as last year or won't make the same mistakes as we made as last year. So I think it'd just be more like being more comfortable out on the floor with my teammates and having that trust from my teammates, knowing that we've been through this before, which makes the game much easier.
Devontae, how much do you guys talk off the court in the locker room about the end goal for this year? Or you guys just kind of leave that on the back burner and let it come as it may?
A little bit of both. We don't really talk about it much, but we all have the same goal. We all know what our mission is. But in the locker room, it's really just good vibes all the time. We don't really try to put too much pressure on ourselves, and we just always try to have the energy high. And once you got good energy, it takes care of itself. That leads into practice, and if you got good practice, then you're gonna keep building days, and that's what we do here. So.
Isaiah, are you a vocal leader finally? We know what you do on the court, but have you kind of come out of that shell a little bit with this being the second time instead of a year ago where you're maybe trying to find yourself?
You know, I've been trying. I feel like I've made progress being more vocal, especially, you know, on the floor, just calling out plays, calling for the ball, you know, calling what screening coverage that we're in. I think, you know, as the season, you know, draws closer, I'm definitely gonna get better at that. It's a far cry from, you know, when I first got here, it's definitely night and day. I think, you know, Coach, every practice, he always gets on me for talking. So I mean, it's not like I can forget to talk. So I think I've gotten better at that.
You talk about improving your communication skills. This one's for everyone. Obviously, a lot of people know and they know what they should expect from you guys, but who are some guys on the team that maybe really grown this offseason and who, when we see you guys in a week or two, we're going to be surprised?
I think everybody's made tremendous strides all summer. I think that's the special thing about our program is it gives opportunity for everybody to grow and become better players but better people. I think everybody's made extremely, tremendous strides, like I said. I think you're going to be very impressed with John Ugumadu. I spoke about him last night. We had an event, and I mean it when I say he's one of the most talented guys I've ever been around. Just raw ability, athleticism. And he is what he embodies the most exciting 40 minutes in sports. So I think you're going to really look at him and be like, wow, that's a step in the right direction. Deshaun Jackson, Turner Buttrey. I think they're going to have great strides this year. I think they've made tremendous strides throughout the summer. They've become more comfortable, more confident. And then Leland Walker is going to explode. We all kind of have that idea in mind. He's had a great summer, great fall, and he's ready to step into his role. And then we've got new guys, Colin Cooper, Pierce Thomas. Those guys, they're going to step in and make tremendous impact on our team. So I think everybody's going to be impressing you.
Michael, just a second ago, Coach was talking about how, you guys had an event last night. He's willing to put you up there. You can give a little speech about everyone, tell a funny joke about everyone as well. Just what about your personality or your demeanor allows yourself to be such a leader for this team and to have this kind of role of, overlooking everyone and being someone Coach can count on in a situation like that, for example?
I'm old. It's been 5 years now. But no, I find it really important to take an interest in everybody I'm around, whether it's coaches, staff members. I think it makes it a lot more easy for you to interact on a day-to-day basis because the best way to become yourself is become comfortable in your surroundings. The way you grow in life is you find yourself in uncomfortable situations. I find the best way for me is to make myself comfortable. And so that's getting to know people, building relationships, building connections. But, like I said in the first question, I love these guys. These are my teammates, the main reason why I came back. And I think that was my opportunity to tell all of them, a story about themselves, how I feel about them, and, I love them all. So just to give me a chance to do that. And being able to be leaned on, like you said, with Coach Hamilton, I think it's important because I know what he expects out of me. He's hard on me, but he gave me an opportunity, so I'll do everything I can to maximize that opportunity, but also if that takes being, a leader, if that takes being the voice, I'll do it, and I like it, so.
Isaiah, with Darden Capiti not returning and turning pro in Kosovo, you've lost your backup. I know they've recruited somebody else, but does it impact you as far as potentially more minutes, foul trouble, and the way you're going to play? Any concerns there?
We've been working on my conditioning a lot, especially in practice, kind of making sure that I don't get any subs so I can, kind of get more minutes or just simulate what it feels like to get more minutes. I think that realistically, I'll be good. We've been, again, working on my conditioning and, working on how many reps I get and stuff like that. And I've never really had any trouble. At least, I've never had any trouble last season with fouls or anything like that. So, I think I'm just going to, do the same thing and, keep myself, out of foul trouble. And again, I have, two good backups as well for, David Onina and Mont. So I think, I'm going to be good.
Isaiah, you've always been typecast as a defensive guy first, shot blocking in high school and now. How much has your offensive game improved, and where has it improved? Farther out on the court, what have you?
Yeah, over the summer we've been just working hard on getting, offensive game, a face-up game, kind of, getting better at perimeter defense, and just kind of so I can just space out the floor a little more this season, especially, turnaround jump shots and all that. I know obviously defense is my main strength, but we've been working pretty hard on just getting my offensive game to the next level, and I think it's improved. Especially I've been put in situations, or coach put me in situations where I had to, do something different than just post up or just catch the ball and swing step and dunk it. So.
This question would be for Michael and Isaiah. Obviously, y'all are in your senior years, but y'all are the local heroes, Madison Central and Scott County. Going into your last year with such a great team, you guys embracing the hometown hero kind of role, and how much of a blessing is it to play for EKU?
It's a huge blessing. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. Most kids dream of playing in large institutions, but you don't realize you're living out a dream at any institution you play at, and I've been living out a dream all 5 years here at EKU. It's a special place, and I think it's a place that's been waiting a long time to become a basketball institution. You know, Coach Roy Kidd passing away this past fall was huge blow to the football program, and he's the pillar of EKU athletics. He's the standard, and I think this town has brought a lot of excitement with Coach Hamilton and this program. So I think with us, you know, we're having the opportunity with such a great team, great leaders, a great fan base to play for. This gives us the primetime opportunity to do what we set out to do when we decided to come back last year. So for me, I'm living out a dream.
You know, same thing for me. I'll admit it took me a little bit longer to sort of come here, but you know, in the end, I think it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. You know, A-Dub, you know, I respect him so much as a coach and even more as a person. You know, just in the recruitment process alone and how he, you know, talked to me and how he presented himself to me, I knew that, you know, more than anything, he wanted me not just to, you know, just be on the court and actually play, but also just have fun. And I think that's what resonated with me, is that I'm, you know, having fun, you know, on and off the floor with these guys. You know, it's a blessing to play for sure, even especially after, you know, sitting for 3 years and coming back and, you know, having this season we had last year and coming again with all this, you know, hype around us. It's an amazing feeling.
Devontae, just wondering, off season, you know, big year last year, big numbers, that sort of thing, first team all conference. What do you work on skill-wise to improve your game? What's the mindset?
Really work on everything. That always been my biggest thing. That's always been me and my dad's motto. Every year we're gonna get better at everything. Whether that be shooting, scoring, passing, just having a higher IQ, conditioning. There's never no room to improve your game. And once you believe that you can improve, then you're finished. So I'm always working. I'm always trying to find little things I can get better at, little things I didn't understand before I can try to understand now. So I'm always open to getting better.
We were talking about Cooper, you know, the end of his career last year in the CBI, and how at the end AW was telling us that he was challenging you guys to who's going to be the next him. Can you even replicate what Cooper does? I mean, even just defensively on the perimeter, just overall as a teammate and as a leader. Do it.
No, but we're trying. We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying.
There's only one Cooper Robb. I think everybody knows that. I've seen him my whole life firsthand. The effort he plays with, the passion he plays with, and, you know, the ability to be stoic. A lot of kids that play with that passion, they're really energetic. He's one to just poker face all game. But no, there's only one Cooper Robb, but we decided as a unit we have to step up as a collective. Everybody has to do their part to be able to replicate what he did. That type of effort, you can't teach that. That type of heart, you can't teach that. So having the opportunity to do that one more time this year, that challenge is something we have to rise to. We have a great group of guys who do it, great group of vets now that can do it. And everybody understands the level that he competed at. It is something that you have to build to you. It happens in practice. It happens in your habits. It's not something you just turn on and off like a switch. So I think as a collective, we decided that everybody's got to step up and try and replicate that best they can. That's our best way to do it.
Who's the player closest to being able to do that with this team?
Tayshawn and Colin Cooper. That would be my two selections right there. Tayshawn is, you know, when you get to know him, he's got a very much of a leader persona about him. You want to follow him. You want to play with him. That's what you want. You know, he's the type of guy you want leading your team. And then Colin being a fifth-year guy, he came from Central Arkansas, who hasn't had as much success as we've had. He wants to win, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to win. He was taught to play the right way, and he's a competitor. And having those two guys that take it personal on the defensive end and want to be great on the defensive end, I think it's clear enough to us that they want to be that guy. So both of them have taken tremendous strides defensively this year.
Devontae, you're preseason player of the year in ASUN. Do you feel like there's a bullseye on your back, or do you feel like there's a bullseye on the whole team?
A little bit of both. Being preseason player of the year, I mean, that just come with the territory. You know, everybody want to be out for blood, but we also number one, pick number 1 too. So coming with that, everybody want to beat us. You know, we gonna get everybody best game from here on out. No matter if that's Purdue, Alabama, or Georgetown College. It don't matter. Everybody gonna want to beat us, and we're prepared for that. That's what we want. You know, it's a respect thing. We love that, and we just continue working and just so we can be prepared for that too.
Yeah, what's that like? You guys are going from basically hunting to being hunted, I think is how it goes. Like mentally, I guess, is there any way that you approach the game different? I know it seems like a pretty obvious question to answer, but it's going from being the hunter to the hunted.
I think
What's that?
we approach it the same way we did as last year. We still, even though the fans or whoever voted for us to be number one, we still feel like we are still chasing to be number one. Like we're still hunting. We understand we're hunted, but when we step on that court, we're hunting. So I feel like just to keep that chip on our shoulder and to keep doing what we're doing, I think we'll be all right.
When you look at the food chain, it's connected. You know, everybody. You look at the jungle. The king of the jungle is the lion. People still hunt the lion, but the lion hunts as well. So I feel like when you look at that intertwinedness, we can go down any given night, but we know that that's coming with the territory of being picked number one. We were picked 10th last year, and it was easy to create hunger with that, but we have to create hunger still. We still have to eat, you know. So that's something we all look into. It's a respect thing, but we have to show them there's a reason why we were picked number one, and that's, you know, how we approach our days in the weight room, on the floor, in life. Just understanding that even though we are the hunted now, we can still hunt, and that's how we have to approach every single game, no matter who we play.
Any other questions?
I think so.
So these guys and the rest of the team will be available